Good morning, students. How are you? You are at home and hope you are safe. Missing the classes maybe, isn't it? I am also. But what to do? We have no option other than this. Okay, children, let's come to the point. You have already received the messages regarding the online classes, and you might have already started receiving the videos also. But children, in this particular week, we are concentrating only on the revision part. Okay, from 8 June onwards, our regular teachings will be started through videos as per the given schedule or timetable. Okay, in this particular video, I am going to concentrate on two topics. One is from history, that is topic tracing changes through 1000 years. That was your first chapter, and another also from geography resources, chapter number 1. So please children, go through the video, okay, and afterwards you have to give your comment, because your comment is considered as your presence. So please watch it carefully and do comment. Thank you.
Children, let's start our first chapter, tracing changes through 1000 years. Particularly here in class 7 we are going to study the medieval history. In class 8 we are going to study the modern history. The medieval history refers to the period from 8th to 18th century CE in the Indian subcontinent, and it is divided into two periods: the early medieval period, that is from 8th to 13th century, and the later medieval period, that is from 13th to 18th century. So many changes occurred during this period. So this is the medieval period. Now what are all the changes occurred? Let us see one by one. First of all, we have seen in our first video with regard to changes in the maps, isn't it? Now first of all, what is cartography? We have to keep in mind what is cartography. It is nothing but the study of maps. Now who is cartographer? A cartographer is one who prepares the map of any area. He is called as cartographer. In 1154 CE, Arab geographer Al-Idrisi, he has prepared the first map of India, isn't it? Where you have also seen the image wherein the Sri Lanka was shown on the North India, where we are now presently seeing Sri Lanka. It is at that time, it was on the top according to Al-Idrisi's map. And later in the year 720, very recently compared to that medieval period, French cartographer, he prepared the map of same area, and it was looking somewhat what we are seeing the present map. Now the changes also occurred with regard to the terminologies. So the term Hindustan, it was first coined by Minhaj-i-Siraj. The term foreigner was used to describe someone from the other nation, isn't it? Now we are considered as foreigner means someone from other nation, but at that time within the same region, if he is from neighbor state, he is also considered as a foreigner. Then the words like Pardesi, Ajnabi, they were similar words used to describe in Hindi as well as in Persian. So these are all the some of the changes occurred. Let's move further. Historians, and how do we come to know the history? That is, historians and their sources. How do we come to know about the history? So for that, two resources are available. One is archaeological sources like coins, then inscriptions, then architecture and textual records. They are all considered as archaeological sources. And another one is literary sources. Whatever is in the form of writing or written somewhere, it is considered as written sources. It may be the textual records like holy texts, like it may be Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and Mahabharat, or chronicles of rulers, particularly kings and their chronicles, then letters and teachings of the saints and judicial records. So everything that is in the form of a writing work. Then manuscripts were handwritten by scribes. So earlier they used to write on by hand, by using hand, and the persons, those who are writing this, experts, they were called as scribes. Then new social and political groups like Rajputs, Marathas, Jats, Ahoms, Kayasthas, etc. emerged during this medieval period. We have explained, or we have studied, gone through the Rajputas or Rajputs, how they emerged, and their the qualities of Kshatriyas, bravery, etc. Then the introduction of Persian wheel, spinning wheel, then firearms crossed from one continent to another continent. So this is the changes. Then assembly of the elders were called as Jati Panchayat. Then social differences emerged because of caste and subcastes. Then next topic is being region and empire. So many regions, or you can say empires like Cholas, then Tughlaqs, then Delhi Sultans emerged powerful during the medieval period. And if we are talking about the religion, it may be old or new, Hinduism saw important changes. Hinduism was a prominent religion at that time also, but only the thing is that it saw some major changes, like new deities. Deities means gods, new gods and goddesses. Then construction of temples, especially for these deities by the kings or the rulers. Then growing importance of Brahmins. Brahmins were given grants in the form of land, etc. We have studied, and only I am now explaining the synopsis or the short form of that. Then the idea of bhakti is emerged, wherein the rituals are not required. Simple pray to God is enough. So there is no caste or restriction, no discrimination on the basis of rich or poor, like that. Then Islam religion, and in that two wings, one is Shias and another Sunnis. Then thinking about time and historical period, changes took place in the social and economic organization with the passage of time. Social organization within society, okay. Then economic, related to money. British historians divided into three parts: Hindu, Muslim and British period. Medieval period saw the rise of regional and imperial states, development of Hinduism and Islam, and arrival of European trading companies. So in this particular time only, medieval period, at around 16th century, the British or the European powers, it may be the British, French, Dutch, Portuguese, all they came to India for the trading purpose. Okay, this happened in the medieval period only. So this is all about the topic we have covered in the history. Now we will see geography, chapter number 1, that is environment. Okay, once again. In this particular geographic chapter, we have already discussed about natural components. Natural components is made up of hydrosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere and biosphere. Then natural components are naturally existing in our environment. What is natural component? Natural components that are naturally existing in our environment. So it may be hydrosphere, it's naturally existing. Then atmosphere, already there. Lithosphere, biosphere, so it's a natural component. So here you can see the image also. Already the same image is shared in the previous video also, like air, earth, water and the living organisms. Then the human components are also referred as society commonly. Many groups such as individual, family, community, religion, economic, education, political groups are counted under human components. So you can see the picture also. The picture is given in the textbook also, which you are going to receive very soon. Otherwise you can even check it out Google, or else in the NCERT solutions or in the Diksha app, you will find this particular. It's a narrow zone. Biosphere is a narrow zone, so wherein it contacts with the hydrosphere, atmosphere and lithosphere. So natural environment, it is divided into two, that is biotic and abiotic. So biotic means living organisms, abiotic means non-living components, plants and animals, land and water. Then lithosphere, already you have better understood about this, derived from a Greek word lithos, meaning rocky stone, and that's all is required. And different layers of the earth you can see here, that we are going to study in detail in our next class, next chapter. Now, domains of natural environment, that is first of all lithosphere. It is the top hard layer of the earth. It is made up of rocks and minerals covered up with soil, and landforms, different landforms, that mountains, plateaus, plains, valleys, etc. can be seen in India also. All these things can be easily seen. Mountain also we have, plateaus also we have, plain region also we have, valleys also we have. Landforms also cover the ocean floors. So at the ocean floor also we can find the landforms. So sometimes mountains are even found inside the sea. Then it provides us with the forest, grassland, and land for agriculture and human settlement. This lithosphere. Forest cover is there. Grassland. If you go to America, Australia, or South America especially, where grassland can be found. Okay. And land for agriculture. So that particular land specially meant for agriculture. All land, all soil is not suitable for agriculture. So as well as for human settlement. Now what the human is doing? Now he is modifying the environment for constructing buildings, houses, roads and etc. for the human settlement. This is a picture of hydrosphere. Already I shared in this video. Then domains of natural environment. Hydrosphere is a domain of water. Water bodies like rivers, lakes, seas, oceans, etc. are found. Water is important for all living organisms. Then atmosphere is a layer of air, thin air surrounding the earth and held by the earth by gravitational pull, consists of gases, dust and water vapor, and protects the earth from the heat of the surrounding and harmful rays. Then biosphere, a narrow zone of the earth where land, water and air interact with each other. Can see the image as well. Then human environment, he changes the environment, isn't it? Modifies it. Why? Early human life was simple and dependent on nature only. He was not knowing the knowledge also that he can modify, otherwise he would have been. So, but he was not having that much brain, and that is why he was depending upon the natural phenomena itself, environment itself. Maybe for the shelter, he used to live inside the caves or on the bark of the tree or like that only. He was not modifying that. Now that scene is different. People then learned how to grow crops, domesticate animals and live a settled life. But once they understood how to they understood how to grow the crops, and then they have to be there till it's a harvestation. Then it was easy for them to stay there, to domesticate their animals. Slowly, slowly, they started to begin a settled life. The invention of wheel occurred that helps in the production of more and more food. So then the barter system emerged. Barter, exchanging the goods for goods, by which the trade and commerce of food emerged. That means they started exchanging the food grains mutually. Then occurred industrial revolution. Revolution means what? Drastic change. Okay, where in the industrial sector. Where it happened? It happened in England. Then why we are talking about in India? Mainly India was one of the colony of the Britishers in India. The British came to India for trading purpose. Then they make India as their colony. Okay. And because of industrial revolution in Europe, which made a large scale production with which helped the faster transport. Then we had an emergence of information technology through which the communication became easier and made a speedy transportation. So that's all. Here we are ending the chapter. So after watching this, as I mentioned earlier also, you have to give your comment. That is, your comment is considered as your presence. Thank you.